Well, welcome to another episode of Port Charles Chat. I'm
And I'm
Mom.
Brandon.
Thank you so much for joining with us today.
Yes, we thank you as always.
Yes, it has been a wonderful day. I've had some time spending some time with my boys today. I'm looking forward to talking to you guys about General Hospital because it was an exciting week this week. Was it for you, Brandon?
It absolutely was.
All right, just so everyone knows, this is the week of January 5th through January 9th of 2026, and the day of recording is on January the 10th. All right. I will start off by saying that you were right, Brandon. I will go ahead and say you were right. Um, I have, I think, and yes, there are spoilers. For those of you who have not watched the spoilers, but they're all over right now. Uh, when Brandon and I spoke about who was the one who shot Drew, I gave many, many scenarios, and I'm very aware I gave many, many scenarios. I may have at one time said Willow, somewhere in the midst of all of them, but Brandon has been consistent the whole way through with the fact that he thought it was Willow. And so I was at work when he found out. So I had to wait until I think about 9 o'clock that night when I saw Brandon to be able to watch the episode. And what a great episode it was! I will give General Hospital credit and say that this was nicely done. I thought it was very nicely done and well thought out. All right. So to catch all of you guys up who have not seen yet, during the trial itself, ADA Turner was cross-examining Willow on the stand, and she asked Willow some questions about the night of the shooting. Willow goes ahead and lies nonstop, and as she is lying, you see the audience is shown what really happened on that day. And we do see Willow when they reenact her going to get the gun. They show her in the driveway of Drew's house. They show her going in and shooting Drew. And so she smiles throughout the court proceedings. As this is said, she gave a very convincing argument as to why she was not the one to shoot Drew. But I will say that showing the behind the scenes was nicely done. Brandon, your thoughts?
Yes, I definitely think that. I mean, as Trina and Kai say, all signs point to Willow, and I mean, I feel that very consistently. It doesn't feel like it doesn't make sense because, I mean, all signs have really led to this point, but I think that the show has done a good job of repeatedly putting a whole bunch of misdirects in, whether towards Michael or towards Curtis or towards Portia. But at the end of the day, it isn't still Willow. But I do like that we're able to see the scenes and I think one of the flashbacks I thought was very interesting is when she said that um, I guess after she had found out about Judge Heron, just sort of the look at her face during her deep breathing as she's going from uh, the view of, I guess, I don't know, the view of panic to the view of I know what I need to do.
Yes, yes. And so, like I said, nicely done. I will say I like during the trial itself, Drew actually made me giggle with his testimony, and we knew that with his testimony that Willow would not have won, and then, but it seems as though Willow knew that, and so when she was put on the stand, she did a good job of just kind of convincing. So when she was put on the stand, she did a nice job of conveying her argument that she was innocent in this and that someone else committed this crime. I will say that Alexis using Tracy was an interesting aspect of the trial also. Just by showing the file, Tracy went ahead and did not lie under oath. And typically the Quartermaines kind of lie, and to protect their family. So it was nice to see that Tracy actually told the truth during that time period, and actually Jalinda told the truth also, and because she very well could have lied to save Michael at the same time. The ringtones was really interesting. The Michael's ringtone with Wiley, as I can't remember, I think it says something like Wiley's, answer me as Wiley or something like that. But anyway, that was fun to hear. And then, but just when the Twinkle Twinkle Little Star came on, and the look on Kai and Trina's face, they had a purpose this week, which is nice. It was fun to watch. So anyway, so I just want to give kudos to General Hospital for doing a nice job with this and actually thinking through this. Now, the on the other side of this, I will say, if Willow is exonerated, it'll be interesting to watch to see what happens with Drew and what Drew remembers the sounds that he did hear during that time period. It'll be interesting to see what happens with him when he realizes that he is married to the person who did try to shoot him. And we don't quite know. With this new Willow, we're not quite sure what she'll do. Because on the stand, we now know that Willow is a liar, she's manipulative, she's crazy, and premeditated. So those are things to kind of, follow up just by watching. But anyway, other things went on this week also. We have Brad and Britt. They reconnected after New Year's and they had a lot to tell each other. We have Portia who wants to wait on her paternity test. Her Curtis is not happy about that, but that's just what he'll have to do. Tracy is not happy with Alexis at all because she was lied to for being on the stand. Charlotte actually went to go visit her father, and Danny actually helped her with that process. Let's see. Now, I will say that Valentine did tell her not to come back any longer because it wasn't safe. Nathan actually forgot about evidence that he had on him for a different case. I was not familiar with the case that he talked about. If you guys know what he's talking about, let us know in the comments. But I was not familiar with the case that he talked about. But I think the bigger thing was this: the fact that he had a chain of evidence, and so now that chain is broken with this whatever crime it is. Uh, Dante is actually perplexed in general, just about Michael and Nathan, and she just doesn't know what to do. Um, Kevin does leave town with Ace. He does decide to accept the position that was offered to him. Laura encouraged him to do so. Laura went to go visit Sonny and kind of let him know where where Kevin is. And then we have Kai and Trina who are perplexed overall because they know who did it, but they don't know who to tell. They, the ADA would be the best person to tell, but if they've gone to Alexis. So it'll be interesting to see what Alexis does with the information. All right, Brandon, did I leave anything out, and what do you want to comment on?
Well, Mom, I don't think that you left out anything significant. Um, but I will say, at least in my general thought, is, but yes, I do think that Will end up being acquitted. But I don't think she will get custody back in the upcoming custody trial, which I think is also this month.
Okay, we'll have to see what happens there. All right, Brandon, you ready to go to the superlatives this week?
I believe so.
All right, our performers of the week. I got to give this to Willow. So for me, Willow was the performer of the week. I gave a number two to the ADA, but ADA Turner, but Willow was number one for me this week. How about you, Brand?
Yes, Will was my number one for this week. And for my number two, I'm actually going to say Drew.
Okay, makes a lot of sense. All right. And then as for amusing scenes this week, I was amused by quite a bit of it. First of all, we have Brad and Britt talking about New Year's. Watching both of them in the hospital talk about Britt's New Year's evening, I thought was hilarious. So I enjoyed that. And then Jason made me laugh also because he was busy correcting Drew's grammar and while they were out to eat. Not he and Drew weren't out to eat. Jason and Carly were out to eat, and Drew came over to speak with them. And while they were speaking, Jason just continued to eat, and then made a comment about the grammar or the text that he used in order to speak. But anyway, so I got a kick out of that. And then Drew on the stand. We knew Drew was going to mess it up anyway, so I enjoyed watching Drew on the stand. All right, Brandon, what was your amusement for the week?
Mom, I'm going to have to agree with you on those. But I will add another one, and that is Willow's smirk um, while Drew gets I guess, the wine or whatever spilled on him by Carly. So Willow truly is just, I guess, amused by all of this, and perhaps she thinks that this is the way it should go.
Yes, she was goading him on everything she could to do so. All right, and then we had a couple heartwarming scenes this week. The first one actually had to do with Jacinda with Michael. I like their conversation that they had. So I'm glad that they are still getting along, per se, I guess. And then Laura, I enjoyed watching Laura with Kevin, and then Laura with Sunny, because she did speak to them, and so I enjoyed both of their scenes for heartwarming. All right, Brandon, what about you?
I'm going to take a different take, and I'm going to say, sort of all around with Charlotte.
Yes, that is. I thought about that too. All right, tell us about Charlotte, Brandon.
Yeah, so not only does she go visit Valentine by sneaking off to the Quartermains, and then her fault was to take a horse, Tracy's horse, Hades at that, from the Quartermains to Carly's house. But Danny's like, no, 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 that is too dangerous and you'll get caught because what's more suspicious than a horse just walking around? Instead, let's take this motorcycle.
Yeah, Jason's motorcycle at that. So yes. All right, and then we have. To me, this is a new category for you, Brandon. I had plot turning scenes this week because we did have that. And so there were two for me. And one, of course, is Willow on the stand. And then the other one was the ringtone with Kai and Trina and their realization. So those were two plot turning scenes that I think occurred this week. Brandon, did you have anything different?
Yeah, definitely with that. And I'm even going to add this to this as well. The whole thing with what was it? Jacinda and Boyle being exposed in the sense of them together. And the reason as to why I say that, because even though it seems like such a minor scene, is that it does expose Boyle a bit more, in the sense of his connection, even with the wider range of things, because obviously he's not going to be used to Sidwell with, yeah, he's taken down for prostitution with Jacinda. Not to mention that Jacinda and Michael, the whole alibi thing has crumbled. So there's a lot of implications in there, and then even with regard to the overall suspicion. So I think that sort of adds to all of that.
True, I believe that too. And then as for fast forwarding scenes this week, I didn't have any. Did you have any, Brand?
No.
All righty. So we're going to welcome back Ezra again. I know he was on briefly last week, but he rarely is seen. So welcome back to Ezra. We did have to say goodbye to Kevin and Ace, we think at this time anyway. So we say goodbye to them. And then as for where are theys, where's Liesel? Where's Diane? Where's Ava? So those are my where are theys this week. Brandon, do you have any different welcome backs, goodbyes, or where are yous?
Where is Terry?
Oh, yes, Terry. I keep forgetting to write her down. Terry has been MIA for a while. Any others?
I think that's for the most part the main one because I'm thinking about like even in terms of the hospital, we are down a co-chief of staff in Britt who magically has her license back, her medical license back. She might be looking for a promotion.
Yeah. And then Rick.
Yes.
Where is Rick? So that's another one. Alrighty. And as for next week, I'm looking for, of course, the fallout of the trial. I think I heard that it was really going to be on Friday before we find out whether or not Willow was found innocent or guilty. And then what will Alexis do with the information that she has? She probably will do nothing with it, but there's going to be turmoil with her with what to do with the information that she does have. All right, Brand, what about you?
Yeah, I don't think there's any question that she's going to let Willow be exonerated in the court because I don't think, unless she has true knowledge, well, she already arrested her side, so she can do really nothing at this point. Because Kai and Trina should have gone to ADA Turner, who still had the like, active part of the case, but and is the correct side for them to speak to.
Yes, that is who they should have gone to, and they should have asked for immunity. And they brought that up, which I found interesting. They had a long conversation about what they, meaning Kai and Trina, about what they should do with the information that they have. That they did bring up that they could be asked for immunity, which is what they should have done with the information that they did have. And instead, they've gone to Alexis. So I don't know what Alexis can do because, except for feel guilty about what she's doing right now because she is supposed to defend her person.
Yeah, I mean, she's probably going to get Willow acquitted, and then probably take Scout back because obviously you don't want your granddaughter with the potential murderer, and then use it to probably blackmail Drew.
Yeah, but Drew doesn't know anything. So I'm not quite sure what she's really going to do with the information. With Scout, she'll try to get Scout back, but first you have to think, will Drew actually let her see Scout?
That is true. Now, what I would like to see, I don't think this will happen. What I would like to see is actually to take down Willow. That after she gets Willow acquitted, if Alexis and Rick were to team up to help out with that, because I think that would be intriguing.
Oh, yeah, that really would be intriguing. Unfortunately, I don't think that Willow could be, especially if she's acquitted of the crimes. She can't be found, she can't be tried again for the same crime. I don't think.
I don't think she can, but they could probably get her for what was it, for her false statements.
Yeah, perjury maybe. But yeah.
Um,
Anyway, oh, go
no,
ahead.
keep going.
No, go ahead.
Well, but then in the same regard of that, I don't know if she delivered it yet, but 88 Turner did say that what was it, that Drew was going to get extortion charges.
Yeah, she did say that. And now people, of course, everyone's wondering whether or not Michael will be charged now.
And the question is, how did the weapon get to Elizabeth's house? Did Willow leave it there? Did Michael plant it there? Did Elizabeth plan to take down Willow? What are the options here?
I know, I know. I think Willow took it with her because, she wouldn't think that anyone would think that she would do it.
See, a part of me says that Willow. I'm not going to say put it back, but part of me would say that Willow at least did not take it to Elizabeth's, but that perhaps Michael took it to Elizabeth's because Michael thought that Willow did it, and therefore Willow was genuinely shocked when they found it at Elizabeth's because that's not where she left it.
Yeah, and I guess that's true too. I said, we'll have to see where all of this leads. All right. Anything else you'd like to discuss, Brandon?
Well, I want to go back to what I was originally saying at the beginning of this whole mystery thing, and that was that the suspicious people continuously get suspicious, and that was the whole thing. Whereas Willow, obviously, she did it. In terms of some of the other people, like Alexis, she was super suspicious, but her thing was just kidnapping Rick. Um, Portia is that she had a secret affair. Curtis was that he's meeting up with Selena Wu to take down Drew. Um, let's see.
Yeah.
Michaels was potentially for him to maybe potentially take down Drew, and Carly was her. I guess going back home after threatening Drew, and then Nina, I guess she was just in her apartment.
Yeah. Yeah. You are so right, Brandon. So right. All right. Let us know in the comments. Did you guess the correct person? Were you shocked? What were your thoughts about all of this? All right. And so we thank you guys for watching us this
And
week.
we look forward to seeing you next time.
All right. Have a great day, everybody.